Hello everyone, my name is Mackenzie Shaw, and today I'm going to tell you about the Holocaust and the effect that it had on all of its people. In 1939, one of the deadliest wars in human history occurred. This war, World War II, resulted in more than 50 million military and civilian deaths and involved more than 30 countries. Everyone, the catastrophic event known as the Holocaust is an event in history that should never be reciprocated, mistakenly or not. Given that my grandmother was a Hitler Youth during Hitler's reign of terror, I am able to provide creditable first-hand experience of the different events that took place in Nazi Germany and its surrounding nations. I also learned a great deal of information on the subject through extensive research and was able to gain great knowledge from a living Holocaust survivor. The Great Holocaust began when Germany's Chancellor, Adolf Hitler, spread a set of beliefs throughout Germany that called for the extermination and annexation of followers of the Jewish faith. In this speech, I will address the rise of the Nazi Party and the influences Hitler spread across Germany and how they are remembered in today's culture with the symbol of the swastika. By conducting an interview with my grandmother, Elfrieda Wright, I was able to obtain specific details about Hitler Youth. It is important for American citizens to understand the circumstances that the Hitler Youth were under because it can relate to today's culture. Today, citizens are often misled by their superior, ill-advised opinions about people and their authorities, just as Hitler Youth made about Hitler. Hitler Youth were not only ill-advised, but to an extent they were brainwashed. Embedded into their education and nurturing of these young and feeble minds were the principles laid out by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Children grew up with the understanding that Jews were subhuman and held no place in the world. If you're able to recall an instance in your childhood where you were told something over and over and it eventually seemed to be a fundamental truth, you yourself have fallen victim to this psychological tendency, only on a much less important scale. Children retain what they hear and learn at a young age. If you don't believe me, ask the parents whose children began cussing in early stages of learning to speak. These children heard foul language on a regular basis, and whether the parents knew it or not, the children picked up on it even before they could speak. This psychological effect manifested into the Hitler Youth culture, and soon people only said their hatred was the way things were and should be. Aryan race traits were made clear in a speech by Hitler provided by the Adolf Hitler speech to German youth in 1939. That was addressed to a group of Hitler Youths at Nuremberg in 1939. In this speech, Hitler stated, "The weak must be chiseled away. I want young men and women who can suffer pain. A young German must be as swift as a greyhound, as tough as leather, and as hard as Krupp steel." Hitler was an extremely influential speaker who really captured the emotion of the crowd. As the Hitler Youth movement began, young boys were quickly prepared for military service, while girls were prepared for motherhood. The German nation proved not only to be working towards their current goal, but also setting the stage for their youth to perceive them and continue to embody their philosophies. In my interview with my grandmother, I was told that children were unaware of the gruesome events that were taking place throughout Germany, and that the children should be seen as victims, not activists. The events that took place throughout Nazi Germany were still symbolized today. The swastika is a symbol of native Germany and can be seen in the current American culture. The Holocaust was undoubtedly one of the greatest catastrophes in human history. There is no excuse for the inhumane and immoral acts that were allowed. It is important for people in today's American culture to understand the origin of the swastika and what exactly it symbolizes. According to About.com, the swastika symbolizes hatred and death. The Nazis hated Jews with all of their heart. Nothing could override this incredible hate, as shown in this picture of a Nazi soldier mistreating Jews. With everyone encouraging one another to hate, Jews had no chance. The Nazis killed approximately 6 million Jews over the course of the Holocaust. These deaths were extremely cruel and unusual, and the Jews showed no mercy. I had the honor of being able to interview Abram Jakubowicz, a living Holocaust survivor. In the interview, I was told about how the Germans targeted Jews for their money in order to fund German expenses in World War II, a perspective I would have never thought about. The amount of information that Abram provided was incredible, and it made me truly appreciate my citizenship in the United States. Abram told me about the different types of torture in which Jews faced on a daily basis. Concentration camps were used by the Nazis to systematically kill the Jews in extreme and cruel ways, such as poison gas chambers and extreme starvation. Labor camps were used by the Nazis to provide economic support for Germany at an extremely cheap price. Jews would literally be worked to death. The swastika is a constant symbol of the horrible events that took place during the Holocaust and should be recognized as the most notoriously horrific symbol in the history of man. The youth of Germany looked at the swastika as a symbol of hope, while today's youth see it as a symbol of destruction. Again, the Great Holocaust began when Germany's Chancellor Adolf Hitler spread a set of beliefs throughout Germany that called for extermination and annexation of the followers of the Jewish faith. The Holocaust was an extremely horrible event, and it was so influential that it brainwashed Germany's citizens along with their youths into thinking that there was justification in killing millions of people. The Holocaust has no justification and should never be seen as good. The swastika is a symbol of evil, inhumane philosophies and deserve nothing but rejection. Thank you.